What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube, with, from my point of view, the influx of new players? Now, you might say, oh, the player base isn't crazy. We can There's a lot of new people playing the game, and there's a lot of people that have never played Smite 2, but were big Smite 1 players now trying Smite 2 finally. I see it every night. Somebody asks what to play, any tips, you know, hey, I'm just coming back, all kinds of stuff, right? So I figured it's time to get out a top gods to play as a new player, whether you're brand new to Smite or just new to Smite 2. There's a lot of characters, a lot of gods that are either easier to play in general because of their mechanics. Their play style is just more basic, so it doesn't have too much depth to it. There isn't too many intricacies in the gods. You can pick it up quicker. And there's some that are just easy and also still really good. So I wanted to cover those gods. I wanted to get you guys on the right track and just talk about it. I'm on Smite Source. Smite Source is my website. I use it to put up builds. I don't put up just my builds. I put up whatever builds of good players play whatever role, because I don't play all the roles all the time. So the website is pretty much fully updated. There's items that you can interchange. We'll talk about it. I keep the website updated. Very soon, everyone is going to be able to put up builds, right? So you go to a god like Achilles and there's a list of builds. Pretty soon it'll show like top player builds, so like X pros, whatever, and then under that will be public builds. So we'll separate them. We'll basically have like kind of like sponsored creators, but not really sponsored, and everyone will be able to put the builds hopefully soon, really soon, but we'll have a date on that soon. Just want to let you guys know that. So this list isn't necessarily in an order because it really depends on the role you're playing. That's the biggest question I get. Hey, what god should I play weekend? I'm like, well, what role do you want to play? If you don't know, play all the roles, have some fun, figure out which role you like the most, then grind good gods in the role you like the most. So this list isn't necessarily in any order outside of this number one. I feel like this number one is like definitely the true easy god to play while also being insanely good. It really depends on how you're looking at it. So number one on the list is Neith. Played in both an ADC role and a mid role. I realize that sometimes on the website it shows you when like this is an outdated patch. High risk patches every 2 weeks. This isn't necessarily outdated. Sometimes that just means the build isn't going to change. This build is very, very good. This build is very, very good. So this is an ADC build for you to run. It's pretty much the core ADC build going around at the moment. Sure, it might change. It wouldn't surprise me. But with this, you would run Aspect Neith for the ADC role, right? Nothing too crazy, just, you know, Aspect Neith. And then for the mid lane, you would run a mage style build. And this is non-aspect. You basically play the mid role like a mage that does physical damage. You know, you're bursting your abilities. You're playing around your abilities, not around your auto attacks. Where in the duo lane, you are playing aspect and you are playing around your auto attacks a lot more than your abilities. Your ult with this build is probably hitting for like 300 late game. Your ultimate with this build is more than likely hitting for like 600, 700, 800, depending on, you know, what you're hitting. So Neith is number one on the list. She's very easy to play. She's insanely strong. She is very safe, and she can impact every lane without rotating. That makes her just a more simplistic god to jump on, figure out how to play the game again without actually even to leave your lane when you aren't really confident in what you're doing. So Neith is definitely a must play. Next on the list, like I said, from here on out, it isn't necessarily any order. Like, don't think into the order. I kind of just listed all the gods that I knew were very, very strong for you to be playing right now. Number two, the second on the list is Sobek. Sobek, it is an insanely easy support god to play right now. Like crazy easy support god to play right now. You basically make it so you can always hit your pluck. Your pluck is your one ability. It throws them behind you by using your two. Your two knocks them up in the air. So you knock them up in the air, easy to line up your one. You hit your one, they're plucked. Easy pressure. Super strong god, a lot of survivability, good lane clear, good laning phase, good team fights, has an execute in his ultimate. And then here's the core build. Ideally, you swap out this first item, which is called Omni the Charm. This item heals around you when you place it. If you're feeling like you want to be more selfish or have a better engage or be able to run away because you don't want to die, you'll go Cersei's Hexstone instead. So that's what this means. This means you go that item over this item. And then if you need anti-heal, you would swap out the Stone of Binding and get yourself a Runus Ankh. Very simple. God is strong, easy to play, good. Would really just stick to that support role with that god. The next on my list is Anubis. Anubis just does well. He's been nerfed like 40 times, which is crazy because at a higher level, I feel like he's not good, which is crazy, but he wins. So I have to acknowledge that. He's also very easy to play. big giant abilities. Sure, if you're a newer player, you might not hit all of the abilities, all the mechanics, but this god has a high win rate in lower levels for a reason. This is the build. You play around lifesteal. This would probably be the hardest part of your whole kit in jumping into Smite 2, is learning how to use the active items. So high res, Smite 1 had actives, right? We had beads, Aegis, blink. If you ever played the game, those are like 2-3 minute consumables that you basically had throughout the whole game. Now we have one of those instead of two. So in Smite 2, you only get one. But then we have 3 potential active items. So you can pick up 2-3 active items. Those are items that you use and have an activation button attached to them. So Bloodbound Book, activating it gives you 20% more lifesteal. It gives you a big shield based on your health, and essentially is a I'm gonna fight in your face type of item. Very, very strong on someone like Anubis, where you just full commit to killing somebody. Getting used to that, like I said, will probably be your hardest thing. Other part of this build to note, this Totem of Death can be a Spear of Desolation. I don't have it on here. And this Soul Reaver, if they don't have a lot of tanks, you'll want to make this a Cosmic Horror. Just a note for you. So that's 3. Next up on our list is Chaac. This is the one everyone always says. Like there's no arguing this one. I love Chaac. I want Chaac. Everyone wants Chaac. All right, so I have 2 damage builds. This is solo lane Chaac. You can run it in the jungle. You can run it in mid. It works in mid a lot better than you think. Honestly, this build is, in my opinion, the best build. It's just a full strength ability build. Even in the solo lane you're running this, tanky Chaac just doesn't really have the impact that you'd want it to have. Plus your 2 makes you very tanky regardless of building defense or not. So this allows you to basically one-shot somebody with your ultimate combo and then still get around and do some more in the team fights. It's a very strong build. The starter changes if you're in the solo lane, all right, to Bluestone. If you're in the mid lane, this changes to Bluestone. If you're in the jungle, here's your ideal build. Now, you saw a second build and you're here. This is newer-ish. This is more of a just max statted, I'm gonna one-shot people build. It's fun. Not the competitive build, but something you definitely run viable. You double stack with the buffs to these items. You get a ton of stats. And then you play around an auto after your ability. So you would ult and then auto and then 1 and then auto. And both of these proc off of your autos. So that's even more burst. And then the rest of your build is just a lot of damage is essentially what you're going for. It's a fun build. Like I said, it's literally just double stack one shot is the name of the build. Go for it. Have some fun. Ideally run the other build though, if you're trying to win consistently. The reason Chaac is on my list of new player gods, big circles, easy to hit, and you kind of just run at people. It isn't too much thought behind it. It's I'm gonna ult on this person, I'm gonna throw my 1, which is a circle, on this person, I'm gonna 2, which is another circle ability that's gonna hit this person. It's not super complicated and does good damage. I'd say it's a much better lower level character than a higher level character. Playable though at higher levels. Actually had a Chaac mid the other day in a very high rated game and do really well. Next up on my list is Fenrir. This would be mostly jungle. I wouldn't play it anywhere else. And then you have, in my mind, one build that potentially works. It's this hybrid tank build. It's essentially an auto attack build, and that is because in Smite 2, your third ability, which is kind of like you target somebody, you just follow them around, hitting them for a second or two. It does auto attack damage, so these items proc on your auto attacks. It will also proc in that third ability. It's very strong. But because of Fenrir's basically super fall off he has every game, into the mid late game, you build some defense, so you don't die right away. You play kind of like an in-between. Like an initiator that does some damage, but you're probably not going to be 100 to 0ing people unless you have a lead. Secondary build, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it works, is an ability build. It's very hard to play Fenrir in current Smite 2 with a full damage build. So just so you know ahead of time, only jungle for this god. The reason he's there as a new player god is because of the simplicity in his 3. If you 3 on top of somebody, it follows them, it does a ton of damage. Most people just try to run away and die. The whole kit is basically you jump on somebody, you stun them, you pop your 2, you auto them a couple times, and then you press 3. They're dead. It's not like waiting for the right moment or anything crazy. It is as simple as jump, auto 3. Or just jump 3. You don't even have to auto if you're really getting used to the game. So Fenrir is definitely a go-to for a jungle new player god, or if you're getting back into Smite 2 god. No doubt about it. Izanami is next up on my list. Izanami is an ADC character. Wouldn't play it anywhere else. It plays in that duo lane as a carry, a late game carry. You'll notice the build's the same. Most ADCs do build ideally like the exact same. if they're true ADCs. The reason Izanami's on this list, you have the best clear in the game for Hunter. Your auto attacks go through creeps, so you can full clear a wave faster than anybody else early game. Having pressure early in lower level games is max value. There's not much better than that. The change from Smite 1 to Smite 2 is mainly in the fact that your ultimate does a lot more damage, has a lot more impact. It slows, it silences, and it does a lot of damage. I think it also does a dot. And then the second change is your 1 also does a dot whenever it's up. The third change is if you use your 3, which is a leap / jump ability, but your stealth when you use it, if you stay in that stealth and use your 2 or your ult, you don't come out of stealth. So they don't actually know exactly where you are until you start autoing. She's just good because of the pressure. Simple as that. Her ult is better for sure, but it's the pressure that makes her in this list, and definitely a go-to Hunter in my opinion. A lot of people would probably argue Artemis, but I genuinely think Artemis is much worse for a new player than Izanami. Next up on our list, I think we're at 7. I think we have 6 gods done so far. Number 7 is Pele. Pele is probably the most difficult character here. She's not difficult. She's got more detail and depth there, but it is not difficult. So if you do not know Pele's kit, she basically has 2. Her first ability can be used twice. It has 2 uses. It throws out damage. Your second ability is a lunge that jumps at somebody and then slams the ground and knocks them up. Your third ability is an AoE of damage around you that also makes you move faster. Your fourth ability is a charge kind of thing. You run at a person. The first god you hit, you stop. And then every time you auto for 4 autos, you do a big cone of damage. It does a lot of damage. Basically, your whole kit does damage. She full ins, meaning you are kind of in and out. It's not like you're jumping in and jumping out. You're just in. Once you're into a fight, you're full committed. And I think that's where she becomes a true new player god. It's not a lot of thought outside of when is it time for me to go in? I'm in, right? Like, it's time now. I'm going in. That's it. You just full commit to one person. And that's why I like her. Ideally, you engage with the 2. You auto, use your 1, you auto, you 1, you auto. If you can't do that, you can always ult in. You'll get it as you play it. You'll see what I mean by her being definitely a low-level new player character. Except she's one of the few, similar to Neith, that does well into the high levels of the game. So at the lower levels, it's very run at them, do whatever you want, spam buttons, button mashing. As you get later, there's a little bit more to it. So it's a good god to start playing early and then carry you into the later game if you are getting into ranked or just playing a lot. The build says it's outdated. This is a general build. You could swap up the Titan's Bane and move it over if you really wanted to and get Pen earlier. The build is very good. It's most jungle builds right now. There's like 3 items that people pick and choose based on preference. All of them work. So that was number 7 on our list. Next up is another jungler. That's Pele jungle. You can play Pele solo. I'm not. All right, that's a lie. I say I'm not a fan. For new players, I would be a fan. I would definitely be a fan. Problem is, there's no consistent build. If you go damage, you're either going to kill a lot or die a lot. And if you go full tank, you're going to be very reliant on your teammates as a like you're a damagey god, not really a CC god. So it's hard for me to tell you which way to go. If you choose to play it in the solo lane, you can try a damage build with a bluestone for that starter. If you try it in the solo lane as a tanky role, ideally you're probably going like a lifesteal item like serrated into a spirit robe and a lot of defense. All just normal solo lane defense items. I can help you with that. I will get deeper into that, and we're gonna do some content around the solo lane so I can do some play-by-plays and show you guys what's going on. But that's Pele. Next up is Nemesis, another simple god out of the jungle. You have a big cone too. You have a dash to move around. You have a shield that reflects damage, and you have an ultimate that does a bunch of damage, slows them, and takes away the protection. So the combo is you ult them, you auto them, you 2 them, you auto them, 3 when you need to, they're dead. Slows and running at people gods are always good in lower levels. That's why I like Nemesis. Build is a standard ability build. 2 more left. Quick supports. Ymir. I like Ymir for new players, not because of the ease of this god. This is another support character. You can swap out that first item for that Cersei's. If you still don't know what Cersei's does, it turns you into a boar, and you can either run at somebody or run away. Gives you CC immune. It's basically a way to save your life or to get you into a fight. Really good on Ymir, by the way. But I like Ymir for new players, not because of anything outside of the fact that it's hyper pressure in the lane. and you have a cone stun. Stuns make people panic, and it does very well against low level players. So I like Ymir as a new player god a lot more than a god like Khepri or like Yamoja. Just guys that are much more mechanically, I wouldn't say mechanically inclined. Khepri more positioning, Yamoja's more mechanically inclined. Ymir's I run at you, I stun you, I auto you, right? It's not a lot of thought behind the head of a Ymir. Just saying. So Ymir's up there, and then last on the list, this is kind of a sleeper one, which I think this is another support similar to Sobek that can carry you into the late game. If you're bad at rotating, this god is great. You do not run the aspect on Athena, just to be clear. The aspect makes it so your ult works different. You don't need to worry about that. It's not good for anybody. Nobody's running aspect Athena. You're going to go no aspect on Athena, support, similar build to all the other supports. The biggest thing here is you can be at every single team fight because of your ultimate. It works the exact same as Smite 1, except for it's better. In Smite 1, if you ulted somebody and they died, then you didn't land. Smite 2, if they die, you still land. And in Smite 2, they get an instant shield, which is very, very, very valuable to keeping them alive and allowing you to potentially turn a fight. I think Athena is probably the most slept on support out of all supports throughout the entire, from bronze to GM, whatever in the game. The highest rank to the lowest rank. Second to this, if you play multiple roles, Athena is also very good in the jungle. Another sleeper pick. I go for that double stack one-shot build we saw in Chaac earlier. Same exact build. Do not run the aspect. Run normal Athena and essentially taunt auto, 3 auto, they're dead. When I say taunt auto, I mean use your 2, throw an ability, throw an auto, sorry. Use your 3, throw an auto, they're dead. It's a really strong build once again because you're a character that doesn't generally, or a role that doesn't generally have the ability to instantly rotate, which you do with your ultimate, and you have that taunt, which is really hard to play around for lower level players. So Athena is high on my list for people if they are support players or jungle players and they need a second character to play. The Athena covers both roles very, very well. So I highly recommend it. Those are really like don't get me wrong. I get that you're probably like, well, Smite 2 only has 5 gods in it. I had someone comment the other day. There aren't 5 gods, first of all. I think we're at, trying to quick math here, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 54. We're at 54 gods. It's a lot. Like Predecessor's been out for almost 3 years and they have like 40. So in a year, we're already, we're getting back to where we need to be. I know people want their gods back in the game, but on top of that, there are aspects, and a lot of aspects change the god completely. Example, Kali aspect makes Kali go from a pure melee jungler. You turn that aspect on, she is now a carry ADC character with a completely different kit. Completely different character. So in my mind, that's a whole nother god. That happens multiple times. That is the one reason why I specified aspects on or off for the characters that you needed to know that on when we were talking about top 10 gods for new players. If there's anything specific you need to know, please just comment, ask me, or somebody that reads it, like is with his comments will help you. I promise you. Or if you want to pop in stream, ask in there. I will help you, or somebody will help you. If you're a new player, it doesn't matter. It's actually super good for you to come and ask, me, because I can get you all the information you need right away, so you can just jump that step and keep moving on. If you want even more help, join the Discord. It's discord.gg/weekend. Discord's linked below. Make sure you're in the Discord. I'm in there a lot more now than I have been in previous years. I'm using it as much as I can, or just responding to people that need it as much as I possibly can. Join that, and then make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the video later tomorrow, the next day, and the next day.